And we are told it will be our civic duty to self-isolate if called by a contact tracer to tell us we have been in close contact to a confirmed coronavirus case. But some of those in insecure work, self-employed and who can't work from home are deeply worried about not being able to go out to work to earn their living. I've been speaking to Hannah, who is 24 and lives with her mother.
So at the moment, I'm working in a petrol garage, just doing some sort of customer service work. But I was a delivery driver before. I'm still doing a little bit of that too.
Why is there not more of the delivery driving? What changed?
Essentially, the lockdown happened, so a lot of the restaurant and the clients that we delivered for just closed, essentially. So there just wasn't any work for us. So people just had to look at alternative avenues to sort of get money, I suppose.
And what's your work in the petrol station like? Do you come within 2 meters of customers or colleagues?
Colleagues, there isn't any sort of screens to separate the colleagues because we are at sort of tills stationed next to each other, but there are sort of screens between us and customers at the tills. But there is sort of social distancing inside the store and certain amounts of people let in and out at one time. But as I'm sure you'll know, some people just don't pay attention to the social distancing.
So under the new system, if you got a call from a contact tracer and you were told you've come into contact with someone who has symptoms, you have to self-isolate, what would that mean for you? What would you be worried about?
Oh God, I think I'd be worried for my health, obviously, but I think I'd be terrified, sort of financially, how I would cope, and how I would support myself.
Because are you not employed? You would get statutory sick pay if you are employed, but are you?
So through my delivery work, I'm self-employed, so we don't get any kind of SSP. And with my current job, I'm not sure if I'm essentially a temp worker in the new job, so I'm unsure if we would actually be covered for SSP and things like that.
So you'd be worried that you'd be left with no income in that period if you couldn't go to work?
Absolutely terrified, yeah. I mean, if I did get SSP, I suppose that is sort of around about £100 a week. I know it's not a lot of money, but there's also the prospect that I wouldn't get anything, and that worries me quite a lot.
For the self-employed, the government is saying that you would be able to get a government grant through the self-employed income support scheme.
I actually got my grant the other day, and for the 3-month period, the whole amount that I'm getting for it is something like £240. So even that sort of so far that I've been given, it's ridiculous. It's not enough. It's not enough at all.
What about others in your household? Who do you live with?
I live with my mum, who also happens to sort of be my carer. So, I'm worried about that side of things in case she got sick and she had to self-isolate. Would she be able to look after me? That worries me too.
So how do you feel about this new phase we are in? The beginnings of more easing of the lockdown in England and also the new contact tracing system?
I'm worried about the contact tracing because I think there maybe hasn't been as much guidance as I would hope on exactly how it works. I worry, would that contact tracing be triggered if I'm at work and I'm with a colleague, or I'm worried about that side of things, definitely. And if there is, say, a customer who comes into the shop who's not directly sort of in my contact because there's a screen between us, but they maybe need to be self-isolating, would that mean that I would have to self-isolate as well? I think I worry because the sheer amount of people that we come into contact with, that would just be pinging off all the time, maybe even repeatedly.
And what would it mean if you were told to self-isolate for the 14 days and it seemed that you've used up your self-employed support already and you're not eligible for statutory sick pay? Could you manage for 2 weeks without any money coming in?
Oh, I mean, I don't even think... I think I could maybe just about push and manage a week. I don't think I could manage a fortnight. I think there's only so much support that I can get off family and friends and things like that, which with COVID, I've already sort of exhausted the amount of money that I can borrow off my mum, bless her, who's lent me some money during this. I don't think even she could support me if I had no income for 14 days. No.
So would you do it? Would you stay home in that scenario?
I think it's a really tough call. I think I'd be pushed to be able to afford to stay home for that length of time. I mean, I've got to say I would want to, definitely, but it's whether, if push came to shove, I would physically be able to afford that. I'm not sure.
Hannah, thank you so much.
No worries, thank you.